Now what we're going to do is you have demand and supply with an equilibrium. Let me mark it. This is how you work with the notations. You don't have to have numbers. Avoid doing numbers. So you have price and the quantity. First case, we're going to see the impact on equilibrium, price and quantity traded. Okay. In your exam, if the question is about 4 marks, you have to show demand and supply impacts. You get 1 mark for all of this, all these labelings. You miss out on any of these labelings, there is a problem. In fact, at places they've even suggested that an equilibrium can be marked as point X. In my first case, what I want to do is I will increase the demand and I want to see what's going to happen to price and what's going to happen to the quantity traded. Okay, I want to see the results of that. So when the demand increases, we know there is going to be a shift. All right, demand has increased and shifted to the right to D1. I made an arrow just to clarify. Otherwise, DO to D1 is a reasonable clarifying point. As a result, I will have initially, I am going to have a shortage, and that shortage will signal the producers prices needs to go up, and as the prices will go up, we will come to a new equilibrium. Let's say it's Y, with a higher price and a higher quantity traded. Higher price and a higher quantity traded. Now, one thing I would really like to mention over here is just listen to the words that I'm saying. There is an increase in the demand while there is an increase in the quantity supplied. When I say there is an increase in demand and not demand quantity demanded, when I say there is an increase in demand, that means the demand curve has shifted to the right. When I say there is an increase in quantity supplied, that means there is a movement along the supply curve. There's an upward movement along the supply curve. And why did this happen? Because the prices went up. When price went up, quantity supplied increases, there is an extension in supply that's taking place. Now, in the second one, we will show that if demand decreases, then what happens to the price and what happens to the equilibrium quantity. So if I shift the demand curve to the left, as the demand is falling, let's label it D1, shifts to the left, and your new equilibrium point goes from X to Y. The quantity traded falls, the price is going down. Price goes down, quantity goes down. Again, when the demand curve shifts to the left, the prices go down, and as a result, the quantity supplied is going down. We have a movement along the curve in the supply curve. There's a contraction in supply. Now we'll see the impact that if, let's say, supply increases, okay, what's going to happen to the price and what's going to happen to the quantity as a result of this. So your original equilibrium and the supply increasing shifts away from the origin. That means it shifts to the right. And as a result, we have a new equilibrium with the price over here and quantity over here. Now, when I'm explaining this, what I'm basically saying is, so we can see that the new result is point Y over here, and as a result, we're at Q1 and P1. So the price has gone down and quantity supplied has increased. If I'm saying supply has increased, where do I have the movement along the curve? Because of the fall in the price, the movement along the curve is happening on the demand curve. So when the supply increases, the price goes down, and as a result, quantity demanded increases. Now we're going to reduce the supply, and then we'll see the impact on price and impact on quantity as a result of this. So when the supply decreases, it shifts left to S1, leading to a new equilibrium with a higher price and lower quantity. Now, when this happens, we can clearly see that when the price increases, we see a movement along the curve on the demand curve. So it's safe to say that when supply decreases, price goes up, quantity demanded decreases as a result. So single shifts are way easier. What if the demand goes up and supply goes up? What's going to happen as a result of this? Now, this is the tricky one because the result, everyone's going to have a different result if they're making it themselves. So, for example, let me make one and explain it as well. If the demand increases, it shifts to the right. If supply increases, it is going to shift to the right as well. Okay. Now it really depends how much am I shifting it, because this one that I've shifted is also moving to the right. This much is also increasing to the right, and this one's also increasing to the right. Right? But the thing is, the equilibriums are changing as a result of this. What's happening is, as I'm moving to the right, the prices are going down and the quantity is increasing. The prices are going down, quantity is still increasing. Prices is going down and quantity is still increasing. The problem is, over here, the price is still above the equilibrium, but the supply has a very small shift. If I bring about an equal shift, somewhere around here, when I make an equal shift, the price remains at the same line, the quantity is increasing. But however, if I shift the supply curve too much on the right, the price ends up going below the equilibrium and the quantity is still increasing. So, to be fair, the way we're going to answer this one is, what's going to happen is this. This is the working we're going to do. To be always sure of the result, we want to talk about, if demand goes up, what's going to happen to the price and what's going to happen to the quantity. And if supply increases, again, what's going to happen to them. So we're going to look at individual responses. What we know from above 4 diagrams is that when the demand goes up, the price rises and the quantity rises. When a single demand curve shifts, like we did in our very first diagram. When demand increases, price goes up, quantity goes up. When supply increases, just supply, then this is what happens. Price goes down and quantity goes up. Let me do the marking here. When supply increases, price goes down and the quantity increases. Now we have a result here. I'm going to study the result like this. In one case, the price went up. In the other case, the price went down. So I don't exactly know whether the price is going up or down. As far as the quantity goes, the quantity is going up in both cases. So that means quantity has a definite increase that's going to take place. So as a result of this, we can say that when demand goes up and supply goes up, price is uncertain. However, the quantity will increase. This can come in your MCQs. What if the demand went up and the supply went down? So, what's going to happen as a result of this? So, demand going up, demand shifts to the right, and supply is going down means that the supply is shifting to the left. Your final equilibrium is over here. In our case right now, because I've made equal shifts, our quantity is remaining unchanged, but the price is going up. Now again, just get this in your head that a double shift will always have one factor uncertain. Always. It depends on the size of the shift, unless they have told you whether the demand shift is bigger or the supply shift is bigger. So, what I'll do is just to be sure which one is an uncertain factor, I will look at them individually. How do we look individually? Through this idea. If demand increases, price and quantity goes up. If supply decreases, in my head I'm thinking if the supply curve decreases, it shifts to the left, it causes the equilibrium price to go up and the quantity goes down. Now I can clearly tell which one is my uncertain factor here. In both cases, the prices is going up. That means my overall result is that the prices are going to rise. But my quantities are uncertain because one time is going up and the other time is going down. It really depends on whose shift is bigger. If supply shift was larger, then overall it would have gone down. If demand shift was larger, then overall it would have gone up. So for now, since we don't have the results, I'll say the quantity is the uncertain factor here. Alright, so if demand is going down, you shift the demand curve to the left, that's your D1. And supply is going down, you're going to shift it upwards, up there. And so as a result, what we see is the quantity is going down, but the price is remaining the same. So what it really means is that if I was to look at them individually, that what's the result of demand and supply? So let's show it through this. When demand falls down, price goes down, quantity goes down. When supply falls, it causes the price to go up, but the quantity moves. So we can see here that the quantity is definitely going down, but the price is the uncertain factor here. Alright, so if demand is going down, we'll shift the demand curve to the left, that's our D1. And supply is increasing, so it's going to shift to the right. Okay, and that's an increase. Our final equilibrium is at point Y over here with the same quantity, but the price is going down. So just to be sure, what we'll do is we're going to test it out again. Demand going down and supply increasing, their impacts on price and quantity. If demand goes down, they both move downwards. If supply increases, the price goes down and quantity goes up. So as a result, the price is going down and the quantity is uncertain.